Well, one final time, we welcome you back to this edition of 5 Talk Street. I'm Scott Murry. Well, this segment is for all of you viewers who are newly engaged, single adults looking for love, or for that matter, mature lovebirds who have been together for a long, long time. And we have E.Wilson and E.Wilson, who are both on the executive committee of the Healthy Marriage, Healthy Families Coalition, here to tell us all about their Dream It, Love It, Live It marriage conference. Yes. Eric, welcome.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Sherry, good to see you.
Thank you. You too. Good to be here.
Well, we talk about marriage, we talk about relationships, we talk about family, and we think, how did it ever change so quickly from when we were all growing up?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's a different story now.
Yes,
Totally
yes.
different.
Where did we go wrong? What happened?
I think
this is only a 30-minute show, so we don't.
I think one of the things, as you said, when you was younger and I was younger, I think I'm a little bit younger than you are, but families
Thanks,
aren't. I'm sorry, but families aren't sticking together. I think everybody's preoccupied with providing for the family, and the husband and wife are both working these days.
Right.
And I think the quality of the time at home, sitting at the table, eating together, finding out how was your day, you know, I think that's kind of been robbed of us throughout the years. So I think that's kind of the reason why
The
we have
core values, that's right.
Yes,
And one thing I knew, I had the continuity of it every single night. I was going to be at home with my two sisters, mom and dad, and we were going to have dinner together. It was a done deal.
Absolutely.
And that just doesn't exist anymore, does it?
That time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we grew up too much relying on the fairy tale, the happily ever after, but they don't tell you how you get there, what happens in between. And so I see this is the other side of the fairy tale.
Well, then let's talk about what you've got here. It says, dream it, love it, live it.
Yes, absolutely.
Where did this all come about? What is it?
Yeah, it's come from.
What do you do? Who do you help? How do you get involved?
Everybody. Who do you help? Everybody. It came from the Healthy Marriage, Healthy Family Coalition, which is basically an agency of over 150 organizations and individuals who meet on a monthly basis to strengthen marriages and relationships through family and that kind of a thing. So it birthed out of there this Dream It, Love It, Live It conference, so we can get some tools so we can really dream, love, and live this thing called marriage that a lot of people are today.
Now, is this more about, and I think the initiative came from the good folks at the Parenting Center in Fort Worth, who are just so on top of things, one of the great organizations that we have in our backyard. And yet, I wonder, is this about family, or is this more about relationships between a husband and a wife when you're talking about healthy marriages? Is this healthy marriages as a family, or just one-on-one with a spouse, with a husband or wife?
Yeah.
It covers both. I mean, it definitely deals with building strong marriages, and if you don't have a strong marriage, then you definitely will not have a strong family. And so you attack the head, and then it will trickle down to the rest of the body part of the family.
Well, I don't mean to be the devil's advocate to everything you're saying, but let me just throw things at you so we can get some responses, because all the times that I go out and speak, if we're ever talking about a subject like this or dealing with this, whether it's in a seminar or just a focus group or whatever it might be, I always hear young people say, well, not all of them, but quite often, or far too often, you hear them say, yeah, well, if it doesn't work out, then so-and-so's waiting in the wings. The commitment is just not there.
Absolutely.
The way it used to be. Why is that? Do we know?
I think the fear of what if. You know, I'm saying I do, but we haven't had a lot of people. We've had a lot of people get married. We haven't had a lot finish strong. Case in point, there are couples who've been married for 50 years. Just because you've been married for 50 years doesn't mean that you have a healthy marriage. So I believe the accountability, like me and my wife being married almost 13 years now, and I believe that the expectation that when we said I do, it was I do, and we're going to figure it out instead of looking for an escape hatchet along the way. Like she said, fairy tale. A lot of people get married, all the preparation to that wedding day, but nobody's preparing for the real thing, which is the marathon of the marriage, to make sure through the ups and the downs, the sickness and the health, richer and poor, that kind of thing, to make sure that we can finish strong with the marriage commitment we made way back.
Anything you'd add to that?
I just say that there's too many options anymore. When you get into, like you said, when you get into the relationship nowadays, you have that escape clause.
The responsibility and accountability suddenly disappears out the window.